Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special episode because January 29th is my birthday. But enough on that, because I'll get to that after the intro. But I want to tell you this. Vince Lombardi said the following: success demands singleness of purpose. What's the one thing that you know you've been very successful at, and you're constantly doing that day in and day out to get to your purpose? Should be good. Let's go. Yo, what up everyone? This is Noan El Boricua, and clearly, as you can tell, I'm giving you guys a different kind of angle and look for really a special, every year is always going to be something different, right? And I really wanted to give you guys kind of more of a reflection for this week's, Fuel Pasión Friday episode. And clearly it is January 28th. And for all of my January birthday people out there, oye mi gente, feliz cumpleaños. And yours truly, I will be celebrating my birthday on January 29th, which is un sábado. And yeah, it's really exciting again. And I kind of just wanted to change it up for you guys and kind of give you guys a different perspective of just kind of like having a conversation and más que todo como una reflexión. And the following is kind of like what I've been reflecting, because I will be turning 45. Yes, your boy is gonna be 45 years old. And for me, I've always shared this with my wife and my kids. It's interesting because my wife, I had recently told her, yo, when I turn 50, I want to have a concert. And I don't know if you guys ever, many people you may or may not know Sting, who used to be the head singer of, the Police. And he ended up, doing his own thing, kind of like Justin Timberlake started, with the boy band, then he went solo. What was cool was that when he hit a milestone birthday, he actually had his birthday back in Italy with 50 friends, with the most amazing musicians in the world, to be able to have a concert. And I've always said that I've always kind of related a birthday with an athlete. And I'm excited because you guys could probably tell I have this book here, which is The One Thing. And I'm going to tie this kind of to this book and what I've been learning, and just a few kind of things that I hope you guys can see into my life. And I hope it can be a blessing for you. Clearly, my number is going to be associated with, right now, Michael Jordan, when he had came back from playing, his baseball season with the Barons, which we all know the story. He retired. He decided to do baseball because, his father was such a big impact when he had passed away. And Michael Jordan said, you know what, I'm going to play for the White Sox. I'm going to go through the whole process. And it was amazing. He made a decision to come back. When he came back, his number was already retired, and he ended up wearing number 45. It was a number that his father always wanted him to wear, and he felt like this is, I wore this number playing baseball. I'm going to wear this now playing basketball. Fun fact, 22 games later, they were losing. It was like a bad luck thing for him, and he decided to, just take the fine. More importantly, the team, Chicago Bulls, of him wearing 23 again. And what's crazy is that the NBA actually fined the Bulls every time that Michael Jordan wore. So all that to say, why 45? I look at 45 as a number that for Michael Jordan was to be able to say, hey, I'm back. And not only is he back, but he knows the one thing that he's really good at, and that is the game of basketball. But I think I also want to challenge the narrative, and I think many of you can relate. It's not just the actual game, but it's who he is at his core, the competitor, the discipline, just the desire to win at the highest level. And for me, as God willing, I see the age of 45, by the time of this video, the recording, I want to be able to tell each and every one of you that for me, I know that God has blessed me. I've had the opportunity since I was 5 years old to get to know who God is in my life. So I've lived 40 years after the fact of knowing the context of like church, my relationship with God and Jesus, and all that comes along with that beautiful package. The beautiful and the ugly, all of that is just a harmony that comes together. Nothing's perfect. Nothing is set in stone. But one thing is set in stone, and just to, I don't want to start preaching here, but it's that you are loved and I am loved, uniquely made by the one and only God. And for me, I'm grateful to see myself enter into my next, phase of my life at 45 years old, there's a few things that I've learned, and I hope that you guys can take this away. One of the first things that I just want to say that I really think about is that as I've been reading this book, one of the biggest things that stood out, which I've actually learned over the years, is you need to understand that sometimes going small is bigger than trying to take on a lot and go big. And there's a lot of good examples, which I would highly recommend you guys check out this book. I will actually do reviews on the books that I read during my sabbatical for those that remember. So one of the things that, as I kind of look at turning 45 and living 4 decades, almost 5, but living 4 decades, is that you gotta have fun. Like, if you ain't laughing, if you're not smiling, if you're not enjoying all like the different moments, then yeah, it's gonna be hard as you get older to just kind of keep that joy, right? And I think for me, the word of the day that we're gonna enjoy in this episode is gonna be resultados, like results. One of the reasons why I am who I am is because I understand that I need to look at life and enjoy life to the best of my abilities, to the best of my capacities, because I have seen a lot of highs and lows, and maybe this ain't nothing new for you, but for me, the more that I can enjoy and laugh and smile in life, the more that I know that everything is gonna be okay. Like, joy always comes in the morning, right? As one of the Bible verses speaks to. So for me, growing up, there was always something really wonderful of having a good laugh, of enjoying a good moment that always made me feel like, yo, like we good, we're doing all right. Another thing that I look at and understand is that family is the core. Now, I need to pause on this part. My family growing up wasn't perfect. We just didn't have the most functioning family, only because as you get older, you realize that our parents have struggles. Our parents have gone through a lot of things that at the time as a child, we just don't know. And I would just at least say, I would hope they would try their best, but I'm grateful because in the midst of back in the late 80s, early 90s of like divorce and all this stuff, it was cool to know that we had abuelita. And abuelita always made sure, even though she was a little stern, I ain't keeping 100, but she made sure that we still had, just a life being teenager, enjoying sport. She was the one that got us into sports, and I'm not really good at sports. My brother's a way better athlete than I am. But I enjoyed the fact that there was like solace and there was peace and comfort in working on, working together as a team, let it be in baseball and track, football, wrestling, all the sports out there that we had a chance to be a part of. It was always great. And I think for me, as I've grown older as a father, as a husband, but more importantly as a father to my 2 boys, is that it's not about the quantity of time, but it's the quality of time that we spend with our loved ones that's so ideal. Look, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but I don't know if I would be where I'm at in the career today if I knew that I would sacrifice as much as I did. For all of my people that work in hospitality, let it be restaurant, hotel, retail, we sacrifice weekends. We sacrifice as parents, let it be single parents or parents together, like we sacrifice a lot that we're not there for our kids. We sacrifice moments that we wish we can go to the open house, or we're rushing in our uniform, no matter if you're in the food business, retail, whatever that looks like it's hard. There's long hours. And I think for me, I always made sure that quality of time was sacred. Like, we have a day out of the week that we enjoy as a family. And that's something that I want to hope, and my prayer is that my boys can continue that if and when they have family of their own, that they can have that one special day, because family is everything. The third one is the following. What's that song? Like, friends, how many of us have them? Friends. It's a really good song, dating myself. I am so grateful for friends. I'm grateful for peers, and I do believe in seasons. I believe that sometimes I'm in a season with people, and then that season moves on, and then, God puts new people in my life. Sometimes there's consistent people from the beginning all the way to the very end, whenever that looks like, or when that looks like. I wholeheartedly am grateful for each and every one of you that have been a friend in my life. I am also very grateful for those that have either talked behind my back or in front of my face and called me out on things that I should never have done or things that I've offended, I appreciate those friends. We need that. Look, I'm okay with a little bit of like opposing views. That may not be the narrative of everyone, and that's another conversation, but I'm okay if you're this political and that political, or this religion or that race or this kind of like, I'm okay with that. That's the canvas of humanity. And that's why I'm grateful. Look, I remember growing up in the wonderful city of Los Angeles, California, the best city in the world. You guys don't at me. But I remember my father always saying, hey son, you and your brother with your friends look like the United Nations, where our Black, Latino, Filipino, Asian, our white, like we were all from so many diverse backgrounds. And you know what was crazy? You know what was crazy that unified us? It's something that I've always said. Music, food, and sport will always unite people, no matter what you believe. Those are like the universal languages that I've learned within friends. And the last one is, where this is where I want to tie this book in, is understanding, like being laser sharp and focused on what you're good at. And if you don't know what you're good at yet, it's okay. Tinker and look, I'm doing all this. I never thought I would be in front of a camera. I'm not very photogenic, if that's a word, or yeah, that's a word. I'm not. Like, sometimes I smile and my wife would be like, you don't look normal, or like I don't smile and she's still like, I'm not very photogenic. But one thing that I know that I am really good at is being able to connect with people, to be able to convey a message, to be able to convey, a pitch deck within the workplace. There's something that I've understood in my 4 decades and a half on this earth, that you and I have common things and that we can relate. We just got to be willing to sit a la mesa y poder platicar, and to know that que vamos a ver unos resultados. And those results can be a bigger friendship, a better, coworker. It could be a better relationship. It could be so many different things. But we have to learn to focus on what we're really good at first. See, growing up, I took on too many big projects. Growing up, I was taking on so many different entities of like being in a band, starting a magazine, starting a clothing line. Fun fact, I did start a clothing line, like Boricua MMA, and then we started with some friends, My Place Magazine, and then my brother-in-law and I started a business called Sticks in the Bag, where it would be like customized drumstick bags. And then, all these different things and entities where there was failures, there were some setbacks, but I've understood that I'm good at being able to engage with people. So if you're watching this video, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you. Let it be work-related, personal, or let it be hopefully just being able to connect. Muchas gracias. And I'm very grateful for my wife. I am in debt to her till the day that I die. I'm in debt to my 2 boys for telling me that I have tried my best, and even times where they've called me out or we've disagreed. I'm grateful for that. Look, 45 is a unique number because it's like that one part of the graph, right? You have that 90-degree angle and then you have a 45-degree angle where, like, to me, it's like you're only going up. Whew, I didn't even think about that. That just came up. Like, you're only shooting up, and the trajectory is who knows. But I think that vision for me is where I am today. Look, am I back? Yeah. And I'm only back because I realized that I'm really good at a certain thing, and this is why we started Pasión. So you've been rocking with us. I want to say thank you. Please check us out at fieldpasionpodcast.com. And I hope there's a lot that I want to do with this, but I also understand that I got to continue to make these videos. I got to look at my views. I got to look at the insights. I got to understand the analytics. You know what's crazy? That 50% of my audience is between the age of 23 and 29. I'm 45. And I never seek to be relevant. The only thing I try to seek is to always be genuinely me, authentically me, and to be able to be relational with each and every one of you. So I just want to say thank you guys. I want to leave you guys with this quote and kind of this experience of where he talked about going small. And I think this is something that it's really, really, really good. And he goes on and he says, when you want the absolute best chance to succeed at anything that you want, your approach should always be the same. Go small. Going small is ignoring all the things you could do and doing what you should do. And I've learned that year after year. Do what I should do. one of the things is it's key, and he talks about this domino effect that if you keep growing the domino by 50%, that it just keeps getting bigger, 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 and like it's this huge result of where you can reach. And I think for me, and I'm gonna close with it. It says the key is over time. Success is built sequentially. It's one thing at a time. So, look, I'm not done with, I'm done with the book, but I'm not done kind of analyzing what I want to break down of the book. But just the intro for me made me realize, as I'm looking at myself to turn 45, that I'm coming back to the basics of knowing that I've always been good to be a motivational speaker. And I only do that because I've understood who God is in my life. And he's been the one who pushes me. He's been the one who corrects me. He's been the one who loves me for who I am. And there's no other thing that I can do in this world than just to be able to help other people find their why, their purpose, and that they can be able to engage in a relationship with God and be able to go forward. Look, you may or may not know it, but just because I don't preach doesn't mean I'm not preaching. Meaning, there's a reason why you and I've met before. The question is, have you asked yourself why? I do. And I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you guys so much. And I hope this video was good for you guys. I hope you guys can check out this book. And I don't know if I have to say this, but like, they didn't sponsor me. So this is actually an authentic view on this book. I'm grateful for understanding that the most extraordinary results come from a very focused mindset. So what do you focus on in 2022? What are you narrowing to get closer to your goal? And what are you doing to be able to bring someone with you? Yo, for all of my black, brown, all of my Asian brothers and sisters, we know the challenges. Please, sharing is caring. Share your insights. And I don't want to get into this. Don't charge people for it. Share it. Give the free advice, because you never know the beautiful effect that it can give. Remember the domino effect. The smaller ones to the bigger ones to make this biggest amazing effect. This is why I believe in our youth, because they're the ones that start off small, and God willing, they can continue the effect to be able to make the beautiful entertainers, artists, athletes, entrepreneurs, medical, all of the above, those amazing people in the world. Yo, 45, don't call it a comeback. We're only getting started. Like my abuelita says, feliz cumpleaños y que Dios te bendiga.